Comparing tax-deferred investments and continuous tax-free compounding of interest is a great topic because most of us have been conditioned by the government, investment advisors, most CPAs, banks, and even your own workplace to put money into 401ks and IRAs. Put in pre-tax money, they say, so your money can grow faster. They can't tell you what the tax rate will be when you're in retirement, however. And remember, always, once you put that money in, you cannot touch it until after age 59 and a half. Well, technically you can. And then Uncle Sam and the IRS sock you with penalties. What's ironic as well is that if you take it out later than the IRS rules say, they'll even penalize you for that on your own money. A tax-deferred retirement plan uses a qualified retirement vehicle such as a 401k, IRA, SEP, or 403b. Let's say you contribute $5,000 a year for 30 years and you earn a healthy average rate of return of 8%. You have $611,729 at retirement. You deferred $1,250 per year if you're in a 25% tax bracket for 30 years. Now, what happened to that $1,250 a year? It got spent. For 30 years, which is a total of $37,500 in delayed taxes. At retirement, you withdraw 8% a year for 20 years while still earning the 8% per year on the remaining principal, which is $54,388 income per year. A good amount, but still fairly modest. At year 20, you are now out of money. And of course, this is the last thing you want because your earning years are behind you. I don't know about you, but the other thing you don't want to do is hope that the government will bail you out. So now, if taxes don't rise, you'll pay $13,597 taxes per year, or $271,940 over the 20-year period. You deferred $37,500 in order to almost pay $272,000 in taxes. That's a 625% return for the IRS. Are you understanding now how banks and the IRS exist to take your money? So let's take a look at the financial industry now. The financial industry, meaning banks, mutual fund companies, and even online services like Morningstar, have a tendency to talk in averages. If you look at a prospectus or in your 401k investment choices, you'll see 1, 5, 10, and lifetime averages for funds in those periods. It doesn't give you a blow-by-blow account of what happened every month, just averages. What we want to show you is why and how averages are misleading. Most of us make our investment choices over which funds have good investment average returns. Take a look at 4 years worth of returns starting with a $10,000 investment in year 1. Now we're going to exaggerate the results here a little to prove a point, but the point is the same regardless of the annual returns. In year 1, you make 100% return on your initial $10,000 investment. So you get to start the year 2 with $20,000. But in year 2, you lose 50%. Now you have back your original $10,000. Year 3, you make 100% gain again. Now you're up to $20,000 again. You start year 4 with $20,000 but lose only 50%. Guess what? You're back to your original $10,000 with 2 years of 100% gains and 2 years of 50% losses. You made nothing. But you look at your average results as a whole, and what do you get? A 25% average rate of return for the period, but made absolutely no money. The financial industry counts on you not figuring this out. Actually, you lost money after you take out the fees, commissions, and administrative costs that these funds take. Let's look at a situation that may look like a little more like reality. Think back to 2007 and 2008 when the market was doing fine until it tanked with the housing bubble. Year 1, you made 8% and everything looks good. Year 2, the market drops and you lose 20%. Many retirees and those close to retirement lost a lot of their nest egg. when this happened in the late 2000s. Years 3 and 4 were back to 8%. And so it looks good, and it appears, except for that one lousy year, you made 8%. But the actual return was $383 in 4 years with a $10,000 investment. That's a 3.8% return, when it feels more like 8%. So many people say after the market goes down, oh, it'll come back. It always does. However, what they don't think of is now you're starting with less money, and it could take several years to gain back the lost savings, even with steady gains. Don't forget that many people have to pay taxes on these savings, and when they go take them out at retirement. Now let's look at the alternative, constant, uninterrupted compounding of your savings, tax-free. It grows tax-free, and when you take it out, guess what? It's tax-free. That same $10,000 in year 1 grows at 5% annually every year, uninterrupted by market downswings. After 4 years, it looks like a 5% return, but you actually gain 22% in that same period. And when you pull this money out, it can be tax-free if you had it set up correctly by one of our advisors. Do you see now what we haven't been told about money? Do you see how easy it is to be misled by the financial industry? Don't you think they know exactly how you're going to read those returns? Sure they do. They count on you thinking in a straight line and relying on averages, not in actualities. Let's take a look at 14 years of the S&P 500 index, a common measurement of the growth of several well-known companies on the stock exchange over those 14 years. That was some bumpy ride, wasn't it? If we invested $100 in the year 2000 in this index, through the ups and downs of the roller coaster ride, we would have made a 61% return in 14 years. Plus, we probably would have lost some sleep in about half those years. Conversely, look at what happens with constant, uninterrupted compounding of interest during that same period at a 5% rate of return. That same $100 would have earned about 102%, and we would have slept like a baby. So please remember here, advertising by the financial services industry is misleading. They use the term average rate of return. If you think of your retirement investments are growing at an average steady rate in your 401k IRA, they don't. Not even close. You can actually have an average rate of return of 25% and still lose money and sleep.